Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. January 2012, a hybrid news group breaks into the media scene, Rappler, which takes the best of TV, online print, and social media. Rappler is born. The Philippines stumbles into 2012, reeling from the effects of Typhoon Sendong at the end of 2011. A former president is in jail, and a chief justice is impeached by the House of Representatives just 2 weeks earlier. 2012 opens with great uncertainty, giving rise to dread and resentment. Rappler's mood meter says it all: afraid and angry. Here are 12 trends in 2012 and the way they made us feel. In 2012, President Aquino attacks corruption on two fronts, going after the big fish and appointing a replacement he believes will pursue the straight and narrow, or daang matuwid. When 2012 begins, former President Gloria Arroyo is in detention for electoral sabotage. She's released on bail in July.
Forgive and forget ang lahat ng atraso na mga naglubog sa atin sa bulok na estado. Ang tugong ko. Ang magpatawad, maaari. Ang makalimot, hindi. Katarungan ang tawag sa plunder case na isinampa laban sa dating Pangulo.
In October, Arroyo is arrested again for graft involving the funds of a government charity agency. Mood meter, angry.
Ako raw ay hadlan. Tama. Malaki akong hadlan sa mga nagnanais na hindi matuloy ang pamamahagi ng lupain sa mga magsasaka sa Arroyo. Malaki din akong hadlan sa isang nagmamadaling maging vice-presidente ngunit talo noong 2010. At huwag na tayong lumayo. At malaki din akong hadlan sa isang matagal nang nag-aambisyong maging Chief Justice. Sila po tatlo ang nagsasabwatan upang ako ay mapatalsik sa pwesto.
The first 3 months of 2012 is dominated by the impeachment trial of Supreme Court Chief Justice Renato Corona. The everyday drama at the Senate becomes the #1 telenovela, bringing laughter.
May we just ask what's the source of the material just read by...
This is the product of my own mind.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Applause.
Masama rin po kasi yung pagkagawa ng kunti. Hindi na lang ho ako pumirma.
And a lot of anger.
Kung ano nung mga pinagsasabi nyo sa media, we are not in politics. Yun ang problema nyo mahilig kayo sa ganyan Wah!
The country holds its breath as the Chief Justice himself takes the stand.
I am no thief. I am no criminal. I have done no wrong. But honorable senators, I am also no fool. Ito pong AMLAC report na ginamit ni Ombudsman Morales dito sa impeachment court na ito ay hindi po authenticated. Walang predicate crime, walang investigasyon, walang court order, walang notice sa depositor. Clearly, it came from a polluted source.
Then Corona walks out.
Isusumiti ko po ang aking waiver sa kinauukulan kapag kumpleto na ang pirmadong 189 waivers. Maraming salamat po. Pagpalain po tayo ng buong may kapal. And now, the Chief Justice of the Republic of the Philippines wishes to be excused.
Order. We have not discharged the Chief Justice with due respect to him. Counsel for the defense, will you kindly
Yes, Your Honor.
advise your client to return to the witness stand. I respect him as a Chief Justice, but this court must be respected.
May 29, 2012, the day of the verdict. 20 senators vote to convict. 3 senators vote to acquit.
It's not a political assassination.
Nagpapakalinis kayo? Aba kung malinis pala ang mga opisyalis natin at malinis pala sa buong bansa, bakit palagi tayong nililista ng Transparency International as one of the most corrupt countries in the world?
The Chief Justice must be presumed to have acted in good faith.
Will the Chief Justice have the moral ascendancy now?
Where our Constitution and our laws require disclosure, he chose the path of concealment. He has lost his moral fitness to serve the people.
How can one man use the very same Constitution which mandates full public disclosure to justify concealment of millions of dollars in his personal bank account?
If we acquit the Chief Justice, we also lower the bar of public accountability.
We should not penalize the poor man for stealing a bicycle, but rule that the rich man must first steal a Mercedes before he is subjected to a similar penalty.
The so-called conflict of laws between RA number 6713 and 6426 is more illusory than real. I vote to hold the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Renato C. Corona, guilty as charged.
From an angry bright red mood meter, it turns happy green with Corona's conviction. Now the Philippines has no Chief Justice. The palace tries to clear the way for the president's favored candidate, Justice Secretary Laila de Lima, but fails. President Aquino appoints the youngest justice in the Supreme Court, Maria Lourdes Sereno, who will sit in office for 18 years until her retirement. A month earlier, during her interview for the highest judicial post, she spoke of the values she upholds: faith in God, a corruption-free career, and a simple lifestyle.
Pakahirap po ng role ng isang justice ng Supreme Court lang. Ang ginawa ko po talagang nag-cultivate po ako ng reputation na tinatry ko po deliberately malaman na hindi po akong lalapitan po na ayoko hong malagay sa conflict of interest situation. Kailangan nung maniwala ang mga tao na patas akong tumingin. Kailangan pong mamuhay ako sa isang pamamaraan, nakikita ng mga tao na hindi ako pwedeng maging korap.
2012 is a year of insecurity for Asia. Tension flares between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea. The Philippines, Vietnam, Brunei, Malaysia, Taiwan, and China have overlapping claims. Rich in oil and gas deposits, it's an area of vital shipping lanes. In April, a Philippine Navy ship confronts Chinese fishing vessels in the Scarborough Shoal. The shoal is a little more than 100 miles from the Philippines and 500 miles from China. Mood meter? Angry. Filipinos see China as a bully throwing its weight around. With antiquated warships, the Philippines is in no position to directly confront China. The standoff triggers a series of diplomatic exchanges that prevent open conflict but leave the underlying dispute unresolved. Philippine Foreign Secretary Albert Del Rosario says the country is asking the United States for help to build, quote, a credible defense posture. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says the U.S. is not taking sides but would honor its 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty with the Philippines. Under the treaty, the U.S. is obligated to protect the former colony. The Scarborough Shoal standoff highlights China's escalating aggressiveness in Asia. By July, a bitter dispute with Japan over East China Sea islands escalates after the Japanese government announces it's buying some islands from private owners. Protesters besiege Japan's Beijing embassy and Chinese consumers boycott Japanese goods, with Toyota sales taking a big hit. In December, Japan sends fighter jets to the islands after a Chinese plane flies over the area, further straining relations. At home in China, the world's second largest economy and 1/5 of the world's population weathers the scandal over its former political star, Bo Xilao, revealing corruption, abuse of power, and murder. China hands over power to a new set of leaders in November. This changing of the guards will reverberate around the world for a decade as China's poised to overtake the U.S., which is teetering on a fiscal cliff. 2012 is the year of rocket launches for North Korea. After it fails in April, it launches a long-range rocket that reaches as far as the Philippines in December. Philippine authorities condemn the launch. Mood meter turns red. Experts claim the North has a long way to go before it can threaten neighboring countries or the U.S. West Coast with a nuclear missile. But the symbolism counts. This sends the message that despite its backwardness and isolation, the country can master missile technology that it has marketed to Iran and Pakistan. The launch also serves as the world political debut of its 28-year-old leader, Kim Jong-un, the third in a family of dictators who ruled the country since 1948. What role will the U.S. play in the emerging geopolitics of Asia? The Pentagon announces the Asian pivot, its shift in naval assets to Asia within the next decade. While allies like the Philippines rejoice, some are concerned U.S. focus on Asia could inadvertently destabilize the region. Despite the war drumbeating and near skirmishes, some good news comes out of Asia. 2012 is undoubtedly the year of democracy icon Aung San Suu Kyi, one of the world's most prominent political prisoners. She scores a landslide victory for a seat in Myanmar parliament in the April 2012 elections. In June, she delivers a long-delayed acceptance speech for the Nobel Peace Prize she got 2 decades earlier. In September, she takes a tour of the United States and visits U.S. President Barack Obama in the White House. She describes it as, quote, one of the most moving days of my life. Mood meter inspired.